Okay, back again. Let's do this. So we're saying there that the little summary of what's happened is the serpent, or this handsome looking man, the devil, has told Eve that this death that you're hearing about from Father, the truth, it's not going to happen. You'll be right. Have a bite of this. Be disobedient against your father, against your husband who told you not to do it as well. Listen to me as a stranger danger man, because what, the serpent knows better than God? That's that foolishness, isn't it? All right, let's go on to the next bit here, because now we've got obviously Lord God is walking in the garden. He's looking for Adam and Eve. They're put on the fig leaves because now they're naked and they're aware that they're naked. Let's have a look. And the Lord God called unto Adam and said unto him, Where art thou? Because normally God's going to, he knows exactly where they are. He knows everything. But this is the point. What they're doing is they've chosen, in this what we were saying, with their free will to go against God, for one. For two, they've now been caught. Now that they've been caught being disobedient, do they lie or do they take ownership? Do they play victim? What do they do? And he said, I heard thy voice in the garden and was afraid, because I was naked and I hid myself. So he was afraid of Father because he was naked? Really? Was that the second lie? Let's have a look. And he said, Who told thee that thou wast naked? Hast thou eaten of the tree whereof I commanded thee that thou should not eat? Which is shouldest not eat in the King James Version. So he's asking him, Tell me, Adam. Tell me what's going on. Talk to me, son. And the man said, The woman who thou gavest to be with me, she gave me of the tree, and I did eat. So straight off the bat there, victim mentality. Adam's not taking ownership of his choice, his free will, knowing better because Father told him, who is his creator and created and gave him everything. He said, You can name everything. I'm going to make you a woman as well. He's done all of this for him. And what did he say? She made me do it. It was her fault. She made me do it. See the victim mentality straight off, projecting, not taking ownership of one's actions. God must have just been like, oh, for crikey. Let's have a look at the next one here. What did God say? And Lord God said unto the woman, What is this that thou hast done? And the woman said, The serpent beguiled me, and I did eat. Boom, pointing again. Another victim, blaming, projecting. It was his fault. It was the serpent. The serpent made me do it. Do you see how it all began? God gave us everything straight off the bat. Okay? He gave us everything. He gave them the yielding fruits, the seeds. He said you can be a gardener and maintain it and walk freely within the garden, but don't do this one thing because I can tell you it's not going to be good for you. You will die. So he only gave him one rule not to do. Okay? So he either thought he was joking or he willingly disobeyed Father. But now, since they've eaten of the apple of good and evil, to be like lowercase God, a deity, what's happening there? They're now blaming each other, if you like. Adam's blaming Eve. Eve's blaming the serpent. They're not taking accountability. Let's have a look. And the Lord said unto the serpent, Because thou hast done this, thou art cursed above all cattle and above every beast of the field. Upon thy belly shalt thou go, and dust shalt thou eat all the days of thy life. So obviously, he's going to be on his belly forevermore. All right. Obviously, eating the dust. He's never going to have anything good. All right. He's eating dirt. Back in the day, if you used to say, I'll rub your face in the dirt because it's a disrespect to say you're just going to eat dirt. All right, let's have a look. We'll go into the next one, 3:15. And I will put enmity between thee and the woman, and between thy seed and her seed. It shall bruise thy head, and thou shalt bruise his heel. Now, this is actually prophetic in relation to the bruising of the head and the bruising of the heel. And it comes in later in the Bible, connecting to Jesus. Okay, it's beautiful how it all connects. And this is at the start of time, okay, 6,000 years ago. And then 4,000 years later, this starts to come through prophetically through Jesus Christ. And obviously it's Jesus Christ and the seed, okay, the seed of the people, I was going to say inheritance, but it's not the inheritance, is it? It's the seed of the people, okay, the lineage, the seed, but also sowing the seeds and the root systems that we spoke about into the fertile soil, but also the seed of life, okay? And to bruise thy head, I wrote there before, was the mortal blow to the enemy, okay? And it's about the destruction and the defeat of Satan, okay? And also speaks of the suffering and the death of Jesus on the cross, which was the wound that could be survived and ultimately overcome by Jesus's resurrection. All right, let's have a look here. Excuse me. Unto the woman he said, I will greatly multiply thy sorrow and thy conception. In the sorrow thou shalt bring forth children, and thy desire shall be to thy husband, and he shall rule over thee. Okay, so he's actually telling him now, this is what's going to happen. I've given you everything, and you're still lying to me. I've caught you out, and you're still not taking ownership. I gave you free will, and you chose to be away from me. What's he say about Adam? And unto Adam he said, because thou hast hearkened unto the voice of thy wife, and hast eaten of the tree of which I commanded thee, saying, thou shalt not eat of it. Cursed is the ground for thy sake. In sorrow shalt thou eat of it in all the days of thy life. So what's happened here is they had everlasting life with God on earth. And they threw it back in his face and then blamed each other and blamed the serpent. They didn't take any accountability for their own actions. But let's have a think about it. They've got the knowledge of good and evil, and they haven't worked out that they're evil, that they've gone against God, that they've been disobedient to Father. That penny hasn't dropped. That's interesting, isn't it? So really, did they get the knowledge of good and evil? I don't think they got any bloody knowledge, because how are you not understanding? It's like when you scold a child for doing something they shouldn't do. Do they understand it? But then if they're an adult and you say it, they're like, because I've been through all of this different stuff, I now understand, because I can put myself in your position and see what you're saying. Or I have now been in this position, so I sympathize, I understand that was wrong. So how much knowledge did they actually have? Thorns also and thistles shall it bring forth to thee, and thou shalt eat the herb of the field. Just keep checking the time there to make sure we don't go over. We'll come back at 3:19. Hope you're well. Boop.